Stop calling yourself a freelancer. A lot of clients perceive freelancers as cheap, replaceable, and low quality. Embrace what you actually are. You are a creative business. You are a business owner. A lot of you watching this might call yourself a photographer or a videographer, and that is the bulk of the service you deliver. Personally, I'm mainly a product photographer. I do video here and there, but I don't call myself a photographer. I am a creative business owner. Now, in your head, this may sound like a small distinction, and you might think it doesn't impact your business or your clients or your rates. What you call yourself has a direct impact on how much you can charge and how you are perceived by clients. By the end of this video, you'll be convinced that you should stop calling yourself a freelancer and start embracing the reality of what you are. If this is your first time here, my name is Chris Pieta. I run a production company and teach creative business online. I'm going to be using freelance photographer as the example here, but this is applicable to any type of creative field. When clients hear the word freelancer, they immediately form a perception of you. When they hear freelance photographer, they think of someone that sets up some lights, pushes a button on their camera, and then loads the photos onto their computer and sends them to the client. That is what freelance photographer sounds like. They wear one hat, and the client wants to pay them for that one skill set. The reality of a freelance photographer is much, much different. You don't just push a button, you need creative direction before the shoot begins. You want to take photos that you think are good marketing materials. In terms of creative direction, are we using harsh light or soft light for the shoot? What colors and types of props are we using? You need to be able to set up a scene and style it with the client's products. After the photos are taken, you're editing them in Lightroom and Photoshop. And just in that short description, we went through many different roles that you play. You are not a freelance photographer. You are a freelance creative director, a freelance marketer, a freelance editor, a freelance retoucher. You get the point. The problem with calling yourself a freelance photographer is that the client doesn't know all that goes into the shoot. They hear freelance photographer and they think you just press a button, and they assign a price tag in their head to what that should cost. And sure, you can try to explain all that you do to the client to get them to actually really understand what you do, but there's an easier way. Call yourself a creative business. Call yourself a photo production company. Call yourself an agency. These words carry a different meaning. A freelancer is cheap. An agency is expensive. A freelancer might need their hand held during the process. An agency takes care of everything. You wear a lot of hats in your work. Make it clear from the very beginning what you do. By calling yourself a creative business, you automatically come off as more expensive and you will attract higher tier clients. Let's face it, low budget clients tend to be a pain to work with. They want everything done their way. They micromanage and they don't trust you. Now, I'm generalizing here, but that's been mainly my own experience. Higher ticket clients are a lot easier to work with. They're paying you a lot of money, so they assume you know what you're doing. You charge what an expert charges, you gain their trust, and they're not going to try and micromanage you. By presenting yourself as a business rather than a freelancer, you come off as more professional and you earn the client's trust. In turn, you're able to deliver a much better end result for your clients. Well, when you're not being micromanaged, you can think clearly and do your best work. By calling yourself a creative business, not only are you going to make more money for yourself, but you're going to provide a much better experience for the client. And that's really what it's all about. Providing the best service possible for your clients. This is such an easy way to improve your perception from clients. By the way, if you're struggling to get your first clients, I have a completely free course on my website. Link for that is down below. Let me tell you about how I made this shift. One of my mentors told me at the very beginning to call myself a creative business, but I didn't fully embrace this for a while. I was referring to my business as Chris Pieta Photo for the longest time. Chris Pieta Photo comes off as a freelance photographer. It's just one person behind the camera taking photos. The first impression that clients got was that I probably wasn't as expensive as the big agencies out there, and that was fine. I was still getting my footing. I was okay with this for a few months, but then I couldn't land any bigger clients. I was struggling, so I made the shift. I went from solo photographer calling myself Chris Pieta Photo to calling my company Pieta Productions. Pieta Productions was more than just one person behind the camera. Pieta Productions would be the company that creates ideas for your brand, executes on those ideas, and gets results. I immediately noticed a new perception from clients. Pieta Productions was a bigger company offering a more premium service, but behind the curtain, not much changed. It was still me doing all the work for a long time. I was just presenting myself as a production company rather than a freelancer, and I wasn't lying either. I would do all that a production company does. Pretty soon after that, my team grew to 4 people. We provide production company service and we charged way more for it than Chris Pieta Photo did. This entire shift came as a result of me calling myself a business rather than a freelancer. There was a shift in my clients' minds and my own mind. I gained confidence in myself that I didn't have before, and the only way was up. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. Wouldn't you rather be called a business owner rather than a freelancer? Both of these words carry meaning in your own head. When you begin to think of yourself as a business owner, you'll see areas of your business improve. What do most businesses have? They have a team of people. As a creative business owner, you should be building out your own team. Now, this doesn't have to be a team of full-time employees. This can be contractors that you find off Upwork to help you with your editing, or really small tasks, maybe a couple hours a week. My first hire was a photo editor, and she's still with me to this day, and she's been incredible. As a business owner, you begin to think in terms of what is best for the business. By hiring an editor, you realize that you can save a bunch of time. You no longer have to deal with the tedious, time-consuming edits. By paying someone else to do it, you save yourself time, and that saved time can be devoted to getting more clients. It can be devoted to producing better quality photos. You can expand your service offerings. As a creative business owner, you're building out a team. You're still wearing a bunch of hats, so it makes sense to refer to yourself as the owner. Like I said earlier, you're not just a photographer. You're responsible for sales and marketing for your own business. You're responsible for making the best marketing photos for your clients. You're doing all the creative direction, the styling, the shooting, all these different things. And when you view yourself as someone who is greater than just a freelancer, you see a shift in your thinking. Suddenly, you feel like you're capable of so much more. The ceiling has been raised and there is a new top of the mountain to get to, all because of a simple change in the language you use to describe yourself. You've allowed yourself to take on this new responsibility, this new title to embrace. You are now building a company. And that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Check out this video right here to keep learning, and I'll see you next week.